Also, I will ask them to take it back away from you guys. Hey, sir.
Yes.
Hey, so what's happening today?
I'm protesting,
Okay.
and they don't like it, basically.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, they have a right to be here just like you have a right to be here.
I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm going to ask of you is to not encroach upon their personal space, because I see you standing within 2 feet of him, and if you're counter protesting, that's way too damn close.
So 2 feet is the limit?
I'd say farther than that.
What would be a...
If I was here to deliberately interfere with what you're doing, would you feel comfortable me standing here recording you like this?
Right, well, I wasn't like that, but yeah, I agree, I wouldn't.
I was standing right there and I saw you this close to him talking to him, filming him. So you may feel like you weren't that close. I observed you that close. I'm gonna ask you to take a few steps back from them, so at least give them the space. Okay? You might not like what they're doing, but they have every right to be out here talking to people. Okay? Also, I'm gonna ask you to not touch their merchandise. It may be free to some, but they're refusing to give any to you. Okay? They have the right to deny somebody what they're giving away. Okay? And if they don't want to give it to you, they have every right to refuse you service, to not talk to you, and to not give you what they're giving away. Okay? Is that understood?
Right.
All right, awesome. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, well, I think you might have mentioned it to him, because they seem to think that I don't have any rights to film them if I want to, and to preach to them if I want to. They think that they have the right because they're part of an organized religion, and I'm not. So you should probably educate them a little bit on that.
I did let them know.
Okay, good. Yeah, I thought you were talking to them.
that you have every right
Yeah.
to be here just as much as they do, okay? But at the same time, you start crossing the line when you start, again, encroaching upon their personal space.
Yeah.
Okay? Personally, if I was standing here minding my own business, not doing anything to bother you, I wouldn't feel comfortable with you getting as close to them as you were.
Yeah.
Okay? So
Yeah.
if I'm just gonna ask you to take a step or two farther back away from them. And I mean, you know, just like you said, this is public property. You have the right to be here just as much as they do. Okay? But at the same time, going out of your way just to mess with somebody, I don't think that's the best use of your time. But at the same time, you have every right to do so.
You're preaching to the choir, sir.
Just like we've been discussing.
I'm an activist. I do this a
Well,
lot.
that's awesome. Well, that's awesome. But
I was part of them for 35 years, and my family are shunning me. It affects my entire life. I don't need to tell you anything other than I'm an activist, and that should be good enough. Yeah.
I understand. And you know what?
I'm passionate about it.
Just like I said, you know, you have every right to follow your passions, as long as it doesn't encroach upon the rights of others.
Exactly.
You have every right to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
But again, I'm just gonna ask you to not be getting as close to them as I saw you getting to them.
Yeah.
So-
Part of the reason is because I don't want to be, you know.
I understand, but at the
yeah.
same time, there's also lateral space. You know, you could be just on the other side of here. It may not be as close as you want to be, but at the same time, that's what's reasonable. Okay, and I definitely understand you don't want to be standing in the middle of foot traffic because
Right.
that's dangerous for people.
There's a lot of
walking,
people
that's
here.
dangerous For you. Absolutely, absolutely. But just like I said, please give them space allow them to feel comfortable. Because again, I wouldn't feel safe or comfortable with you being as close to them as you were.
I hear this all the time from cops because I interact with them a lot here and everywhere actually around the city, and I'm fully aware of my rights. I mean, I know I'm a contractor and architectural guy. I know what 2 feet is, and I know I wasn't in his face, you know, and I know I wasn't threatening, all that stuff. And like I said, I was just trying to stay out of the way.
Sure. But there's ways to accommodate for that.
Yeah.
So instead of being directly in front of them, out of foot traffic, so you end up being this close, why don't you go off on an angle and stand over here, out of his face,
Yeah.
and
And that's
not-
fine, I
not
can
for
do
the
that, but I can also advise you that I do know, like I said, I'm a contractor, that they don't have a permit for this. Therefore, they can actually be, I can actually file a complaint with the city of Hollywood
Then by
because
all-
they're intruding in the pathway.
Then by all means,
I could do that if I wanted to. And actually, I was the guy.
I don't know who's gonna be walking through this straight into this.
That's
so
fine,
technically
sir.
they're
But
not in
let me
the
just
walkway.
tell you that
They do have a right to be here. They do have a right
I
to
never
be
said
here.
I never said that.
Well, you're saying you're gonna file a complaint with the city because
They're
the
intruding.
walkway,
They need to be
blocking the
farther
walkway.
back. Yeah, in the
No,
pathway.
Any farther back, and if some vehicle runs up on the curb, they're gonna get hit. So no, this is a safe spot for them, sir.
I mean, you can argue for them and point well
I'm
taken.
not arguing for them. I'm
That's
just saying
fine.
that this is the safest spot for them to be, as not blocking bad traffic.
That's fine. Okay, I'm responsible for them not having set their tables here anymore because they were blocking the
Well,
pathway.
congratulations for that. So if you want to
No
file
problem.
any more complaints with the city, again, you have every right to do so. Okay, but again, I'm letting you know that you need to be staying a little bit farther back from them, so you're not encroaching on their personal space. But again, spend as much time here as you like. You have every right to counter protest. All right.
Yeah, preaching to the choir. No problem.
Sure. At the same time, I don't feel like I am preaching to the choir if you're continuing to encroach on their personal space and stand directly in their face. So, you know, you may feel like you have the answers, but unfortunately, you don't have the answers for all of it. Okay. So I need you to
Keep my distance. I get it.
keep it, but also keep an open mind. Keep an open mind that
As far
you
as
know,
what?
Just as far as you're free to believe what you want to believe, so are
Oh,
they.
don't go
and-
there. Don't
and-
go there.
and-
I told you I'm an activist.
Okay.
I was.
And how does that change this conversation? at
I
all?
was born into this. I know this organization inside out.
Okay.
I even served at their headquarters for
Sure,
many
sure.
years.
Okay.
So you don't tell an activist, hey man, you don't have to believe. I've lived this life. I don't have to tell you all about this, and I don't want to bore you.
No.
Okay. So all you need to know
you're
is that
out
I'm an
there, you're
activist.
sorry,
That's
sir.
all you need to know. I'm an activist against them, particularly
That's
because
great.
my parents shun me and my daughter, my 8-year-old.
Okay.
Okay. So they're in a cult. They just don't know it. It's a high control group. Very, very high control group.
Due to the definition of what a cult is, it could be argued that they are in a cult, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that you can because you feel the way you do encroach on their rights and their ability to preach to people. Okay.
I agree.
I understand you feel strongly. I'm sorry for what happened to you and your daughter, that you guys were shunned from your family. That sucks. But at the same time,
Tell them that.
but at the same time, that doesn't change the fact that they have a right to be
I understand.
here. and they have a
I'll
right
do
to
what I
their
do
own
until I
personal
die,
space.
bro. Until I
And
die, I'll be an
they have a right
activist.
to their own personal
That's how
space.
strong and
That's
passionate I
awesome.
am.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. You know, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know.
I get it.
Please don't
Don't
encroach
be
on the rights of
threatening. Yeah,
others, okay?
I know.
All right, sir. All right, brother. If you need anything else, just let us know, okay? If yeah. Sí. Huh? here. We're gonna be doing labs and making sure that everything's in order. If anything changes, flag it down. We're gonna keep checking it again.
You have Satan's government on your side, bro. Isn't that nice? You guys love to call the police, but not for pedophilia. You'll call the police on apostates every time, but not for pedophiles. Right? Now I get to speak even louder. You want me farther away? I can speak louder. Wouldn't be good for you either way. You're gonna say that I'm within your space? Threatening you? Theocratic warfare at its finest, folks. Theocratic warfare. That's what it is. They can lie to the cops. They feel threatened by an apostate. Big guy, bigger than me, but he's threatened by a little apostate. Help me, help me, cops, help, help. I'm just a sheep. I'm just a J-dumb, a sheep. Protect us, police, please protect us. We pay taxes. We pay taxes. Please protect us. We need you, Satan's world. We need the worldly police to save us. Jehovah didn't save us. Jehovah can't save us. Might as well call the police, because the police can save us. The police will save us, right? They're your superhero. The Jehovah's Witnesses are in a cult. I was part of them for 35 years. The Jehovah's Witnesses have police protecting them. See that? They'll call the police to protect them because they're scared of an apostate. They're like fucking wimps. Every time I come to Hollywood, they call the cops. They're scared. They're more scared of apostates than they are of worldly people. Because apostates know the truth. Apostates know the truth, and they're afraid that they will spread the truth, not the lies. So, just for the record, I will file another complaint with the City of Hollywood and say that you guys are causing me to intrude into the pathway, the walking pathway. If you guys have your cart further back, that wouldn't happen. So, just like I was successful with the table that you guys used to set up here, I'm sure you guys will have to be pushed back some more. Alright? I use Satan's worldly system of things to my advantage as well. You have to know the rules and play by them. I'm gonna preach to the cop a little more and tell him about you. Hey, can I tell you something really quick?
Yeah, what do you need?
Are you guys aware? Like I told him,
Uh-huh.
I was born into the Jehovah's Witnesses.
My girlfriend's a Jehovah's Witness.
So I stayed for 35 years.
Right.
Are you guys aware that they never call the cops for a pedophilia case, which is rampant because of their policy? Are you guys aware of that?
No, not at all.
Okay. I, being an activist, exposed that. There was a huge case in Australia that happened just about 6 months ago,
Okay.
where over 1,006 pedophiles within the Kingdum Halls all over Australia were reported just within the internal Kingdom Hall. Never reported to any authority, police or
Okay.
anything like that. Long story short, the government of Australia found the Jehovah's Witnesses to be a cruel organization because of what they call a two-witness rule. I have an 8-year-old daughter, right? If
Right.
I was going to the Kingdom Hall and somebody molested her, and she brings it to me and I then go to the elders like we're told we're supposed to do,
Right.
guess what happens?
What?
They will ask my daughter if there were other witnesses. They need 2 witnesses. That's why it's called a two-witness rule.
Right.
If my daughter said, no, daddy, there was nobody around, guess what happens? They don't call you guys. That's why I'm so angry. They will call me when I protest here all the time. I have lots of videos. They'll
Why
call.
don't you call them?
What are you
Why
talking
wouldn't
about?
you call them? Why? I mean, I understand.
Oh,
I
no,
understand
because
the
yeah, I
systematics
see.
how that organization.
Because they're told.
Because like I said, I have experience. I'm not one myself.
Yeah.
My girlfriend is, so I do know the structure and everything about it.
Dude, I lived this for 35. I was born
Right.
into it.
But I get it, but
yeah.
If something does personal happen to you,
Yeah.
you have your own free will to call.
That's
us
what
if
they
you
say,
wanted to.
okay? That's what they say.
Right.
It's a public
But
front.
you're your own person as well, and you can make your own decisions.
That's why they're so sinister.
And I get that.
They're
Some
sinister. It's
organizations know how to
underhanded.
manipulate, brainwash, or whatnot.
Yeah, they
I'm
don't
saying
trust.
said-
They don't trust the
I'm not
secular
saying they
government.
technically do it or anything
Yeah.
like that. I'm just saying you as a person have your own free will to make your own decisions.
But it doesn't work that way. I lived it.
I
You're
understand that.
telling me like I didn't live it. I lived it.
I understand.
And I'm in the community of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, and it's all over the internet. Thousands of
I'm sure it
videos
is.
and stories.
I'm sure it is.
This is policy. This is policy. So again, if my 8-year-old go, guess what?
But if you as a
They will
person,
handle it.
I'm not saying I don't know if this happened to you.
Yeah.
If that's something you want to report, we can talk about that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I
if
was
you
molested,
as a person
okay?
knows that happens.
I was
and you're not going to
molested.
say anything yourself. That's kind of poor judgment on yourself too.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that.
I agree. But you have to understand they're indoctrinated, okay?
Okay.
You go to Kingdom Hall for 5 meetings per week. I've studied psychology and I've been through therapy. They are a high control group. It's cool, you know, you're gonna have all sorts of issues with your girlfriend. My wife was never a Jehovah's Witness and she has
Okay.
lots of issues with me mentally because of the indoctrination.
Okay.
Okay? So like, you know how they say you can take them out of the hood, but you can't take them out of the hood?
Right.
So like, even though I faded away from that culture of Jehovah's Witnesses 10 years ago,
Okay.
mentally I'm still screwed up because from a baby, I've been indoctrinated a certain way. So I have to see a cult exit therapist
Okay.
for help. And guess what? I'm going to a group therapy class and there are other ex-Jehovah's Witnesses there as well.
Of course.
So that's what high control group does to a person. You see, they don't know gray area. They only know black and white. You know, it's either my way or the highway. They really can't compromise. Like, you know, your girlfriend